Everything comes down to frequency, right? Frequency, consistency, and our ability to tweak these key areas every single day. So what we use LinkedIn for is to build a database. We can search for people on LinkedIn and we can target them on LinkedIn. We can actually just start talking to people on LinkedIn using LinkedIn.
Hey there, expert. Rana Saini here. See, the wealthiest business coaches and consultants see business success as the system. This podcast, The Expert Advantage, contains real-world, in-the-trenches business advice that our clients use to gain a strategic advantage in growing their million-dollar expert business. It's my hope that you use these short lessons and insights to gain your strategic advantage in growing your expert business, and maybe one day soon partner with us at the Expert Project to take your expert coaching and consulting business to $1 million and beyond. I hope you share and enjoy.
Good afternoon, good morning, everyone, wherever you are. Today, we are jumping into a training that I promised you that we call the Email Advantage. Now, one of the things that we've been able to do over the last few years, you guys may or may not know, is we've been using LinkedIn as a really powerful tool to build databases of highly targeted, perfect future customer leads. Now, when you think of LinkedIn, you've got to understand that it's quite a slow process. Like, we don't advocate using automation on LinkedIn. What we do is we use automation off LinkedIn, and email becomes a really powerful tool for us to be able to tap into and start to build relationships at scale. Okay, now you've got to think of yourself as someone who is out to network and out to build networks. And when someone gives you a business card outside, what do you do with the business card? Do you just sit on the business card? Do you call the person on the business card? Do you set up a meeting with the person on the business card? Or do you email them? What do you do? Now, it's no different from LinkedIn and email. When we combine the two, there's this magic that occurs. And so what I'd like to do now is take you through our Email Advantage training and give you a bit of a preview as to what's possible using email. That said, if you want the workbook, just comment workbook below and we'll make sure we give you a copy of that workbook. You can download it so you can follow along and get access to what I'm showing you today. Now, one of the things that we do every single month is we run a challenge. I'd love to invite you, if you're watching this, to jump on board and put your business to the test. Every month we run it for around 30 to 40 people. It's what I call a small group, where we implement the live strategies that we go through to generate leads, clients, and results in days that most people don't achieve in 10 months. We've got case studies on it. We've got results from it. We've got leads from it. So we've proven it. So if you're watching this in information land, it might be time for you to jump into implementation land, where you put the thoughts and the theories that you've been learning into practice, because it's not what you know, it's what you do with what you know that's going to drive the results that you want. So please jump in. If you want to, you can click this button here in the workbook that you should have downloaded, or just let us know and we'll give you a copy to download. And you can jump in and register for the next challenge. All right. This is the email money model that I'd love to take you through right now. It's one of those things that most people overcomplicate. Now, let's go through a bit of an idea, a bit of a journey first. The number one thing every expert business needs to do is understand how to build a database. Whoop. Let me go through that again. Here we go. How to build a database. So I'm going to write down database right here. How to build a database. Now, your database are what we call perfect future customers. They're people who we know, if we go on LinkedIn, we can search them by title, we can search them by industry, we can search them by location, and we can search them even by company or company size. They're the four main filters we want to look at. When you've got a database, our goal is to put offers in front of that database to start generating leads, right? It's pretty simple. What do they want? What's the problem that your target market has, and what's the opportunity that you're going to give them? And how do you explain what you do that makes them want to do business with you, want to connect with you, want to contact you, want to call you, want to converse with you? What is it that you're doing? And finally, we want to turn those leads into clients. You might be sitting there going, well, yeah, I get it. but how does it work? Well, everything comes down to frequency, right? Frequency, consistency, and our ability to tweak these key areas every single day. So what we use LinkedIn for is to build a database. We can search for people on LinkedIn and we can target them on LinkedIn. We can actually just start talking to people on LinkedIn using LinkedIn. But the game really begins when we build our own database that we own. So it becomes an asset that you're building alongside LinkedIn. So if LinkedIn ever shuts you down or you get restricted, you've got your own asset base that you can build off. So it's really critical that we take people off LinkedIn and start to build relationships in our own ecosystem. And that's what email allows us to do. Second thing we want to do is be able to get people who say that they're leads and turn leads, which is really just people who are interested in something that we've asked, something that an offer or an opportunity that we've expressed, or something that they see, read, or listen to that makes them go, I actually want to learn about that a little bit more. And that's the mastery, and that's what we're going to go through today. And finally, clients, where we want to get people committed to action. So when you think about the client journey that people are going on, they're going to go, you want to take people from people who are not known into known. So they go, I don't know who you are, to I read something. I'd like to learn a bit more about who you are and what you do. And finally, I'd like to go from known into relationship, right? So now that I know you, I want to actually learn to do business with you, and I want to build a professional relationship. Now, inside of email, there are a couple of things that you need. The first thing we recommend is Sales Nav. Sales Nav is a really powerful tool because of the filters that it gives us. Now, what did I tell you were the 4 things that we want to look for when we're filtering people? We want to look for these 4 things. 1, the title. Who are the people that you want to target? 2, what is the industry of the people that are most likely to want to do business with you, get results from you, implement, and be able to pay you? The other one is geography. Are they local? Are they national? Or are they international? How big's your database? How big's your reach? How big do you want your reach to be? And finally, it's company and company size, right? Pretty cool. So that's what we want to do. That's going to help us build this database. The next thing we want to be able to do is start to create what we call a sequence, but we want to build a sequence offline. Now, I call it offline because online is LinkedIn. Online is Facebook. Online is YouTube. Online is someone else's channel that they can control what you can see, what you can do, and how you do it. When it's your offline sequence, it's yours. You control it. You build it. You create it. You own it. You can capitalize on it. So the power is really in your hands, which is what we want our clients to have. We want them to have the control and the power to build their business on their terms, not to rely on another system entirely, right? So sequences, it becomes about a channel, right? A channel of influence. The next part is what we call, what is the system that's going to be delivering opportunities? So we can get a sequence out that nurtures people, because email is great. We can do what we call a 6 email sequence, and I'm going to be sharing that with you in just a moment. Our 6 email sequence that really goes for 2 weeks, that really enrolls people in what you do and gets people, it generates us anywhere between sort of 15 to 20 leads every week, because we've tweaked this sequence and we have a system that delivers it. Now, you might have an autoresponder that you use or a CRM that you use. The best way to do it is to look for a cold CRM. So a CRM that basically makes it safe for you to send messages to people who you maybe have just met that haven't opted in. And I'm not saying to spam people, and I'm not saying to rip profiles off and send newsletters. I'm saying if you haven't met someone before and you're going to message them for the first time, best do it from a source that isn't going to shut you down. Like if you've got your whole business built on ActiveCampaign, don't use ActiveCampaign to send emails to people who haven't opted in. Just use something else. We use a system called Automated Inbox. Automated inbox for us allows us to target, allows us to do everything that we're going to go through today seamlessly in one platform. It's the best thing we've seen. So for us, that's where we want to go. So you've got to start thinking about your business now in terms of what we teach. What we teach is we need to be connecting with people every day. So we want to be building that database, adding them to our email sequence to engage with people who are interested in doing business with us. And finally, converting people into a calendar, right? This is as far as marketing goes. It's going to book people into a calendar that enables us to have conversations booked in. So what we go outbound to get inbound opportunities, outbound to go inbound. And so the goal therefore is to make sure we've got the systems and the processes in place to build assets, right? More people connected to you, the more opportunity you're going to have. So you got to future-proof your business by taking action today that you're going to thank yourself for tomorrow. And then we want to automate off LinkedIn to make sure that emails can be message people. Like, you've just connected with someone, just say hello. Don't have to be spammy. No one cares about your business just yet. Introduce yourself, be friendly, and I'll show you exactly how that plays out. And it's been working for us and our clients, and I'd love to share that with you in just a moment. And finally, we want to accelerate the process by using a system that is friendly and native that allows us to send emails and scale safely, so we can then grow our business using email as a channel of influence, okay? So that said, I want to move you down into here, and we're going to get a little bit tactical. I want you to think about your situation right now and how many emails that you have. Who is your PFC? Who is your perfect future customer right now? Remember, I just spoke to you up top about the 4 filters that you need. What are the 4 filters? You want to start tagging and targeting those people as soon as possible. It's really important. So we want to build an audience that becomes our asset base of perfect future customers. I know that's how you spell asset, but we want to start targeting people, right? Who are they? Where do we find them? Let's go get them. Let's surround ourselves with as many of those people as possible. Then we want to start looking at what is the offer or the way that we're going to introduce ourselves into their world, because they don't know us yet. So what are we going to say? So if I had to write 6 emails to ease myself into someone's world, what would it be? What's the offer that I could automate?
Hey there, expert. So listen, our mission here at the Expert Project is to positively impact the world of other business coaches and consultants just like you. We want to help them make more impact, have more income, and have a positive influence on the world. And see, the only way we can do that is if you've heard something in today's episode that moved you, created an insight, changed your perspective, or gave you an aha moment. All I'd ask you to do is take 10 seconds, rate and review this podcast, so together we can help spread the word about this podcast and have a positive influence in someone else's world.
Another word for this is to make it evergreen. What's an evergreen sequence that you could put out? And I'm going to share with you the map that we use that works for us every single time. So there's 6 emails. No one cares about your offer. People don't care how interested you are in the thing that you've got. People care how interested you are in what they're doing. So when we write an email sequence, we're not going to write an email sequence that markets our product. We're not going to write an email sequence that, if you put yourself in the shoes of that person, you wouldn't want to receive. You got to make it, write this down. You got to write these emails. They need to be conversational. They need to be short. And they need to be clear about what the point is. People don't have time to read long emails. People don't have time to indulge in what you think is great and important. People just want to know, what's the point of this email? What's the value in what you're saying? And what's the action you want them to take? That's critical. Then the next step is to really look at how do we funnel the opportunities into our calendar so we're not playing chase. Like if someone has to respond and then we've got to go back, forth. How do we do it? Well, we want to use a calendar software. We use Calendly, worth checking out if you haven't already, to accelerate our bookings, right? That's our CTA, our call to action. What do you want people to do? So who do you want to target? what is the offer? What is the value that you're offering them? And that's going to come down to the problem that you're solving and the possibility that you could create. And finally, where do you want them to go? Where do you want them to go? What do you want them to do? What is the action that you want them to take? And ultimately, we want to simplify it by introducing them to a calendar. With those basics in mind, I want to roll through exactly what this sequence looks like. This is it. Now, I can write all these emails. I can go to automated inbox, right? And automated inbox for me works super well because it combines the power of social power of LinkedIn and the awesomeness of cold email outreach, puts them together to create a really great way to introduce yourself to new people at scale. Love it. So this is where I'm going to take you through what this is. I'd love if you have any questions, if you have anything that you want to ask, comment below this video and let us know. By the way, if you want this workbook, just type in workbook below and I'll make sure you get a copy of it to download, okay? Really important for you to have. I think it could be really valuable. So let's quickly go through it together. Email 1 should be an intro. Imagine you've just connected with someone. No one cares about you at this point. Just introduce yourself. So immediately after connection, send an intro and just give context about who you are and ask about them. You know, a really great way I've seen recently is to say, hey, welcome to my network. Most of the people I connect with, or I noticed I connected with you on LinkedIn. I saw you on LinkedIn. Most people I connect with are either in one or two places. They're either in A or B. Which one are you, if you don't mind me asking? So you can ask an introduction, a way to introduce yourself to start. Remember, we're optimizing for conversations. We're not trying to convert anybody. We just want to start a conversation. Pretty simple. Or it might be simple like, hey, saw you on LinkedIn. I don't get on there often, so I thought I'd shoot you a quick email. How are things at your company? If you want to be personalized, you can. And there's personalization with email that you can do automated. Would love to have a chat with you about topic. Let me know if you're free, but please stay in touch. Cheers. Right? Simple. Ask about them. So it's literally 80% at this point, 80% needs to be about them, not about you. The next one, remember, we are wanting the next email 2 days later should be what I call a soft ask. A soft ask is it's not a yes or a no. They can't answer the question with a yes or a no. So if you're, say, in marketing, you might say, how often do you get into LinkedIn? Or how often or like, what CRM do you use? Or if you're in real estate, you might say something like, when was the last time you had your interest rate checked? Or, what's a common question you would ask clients to elicit a response that could actually add value to a conversation that's a starting point for you to then turn into business. Now, remember, these emails need to be evergreen. They need to be done in such a way that people can, what's the word? They're applicable to anyone who comes through your funnel. As long as they're in that perfect future customer group, anyone who comes through that, they're going to read these emails and it's going to be applicable to each and every one of them. What we want to also look at is it needs to be a personal looking short email. Like if I was to message you, it might be like, hi, curious, if you don't mind, how many leads do you generate using LinkedIn every month? ? Send. Right? Short, personal, easy. I don't add, by the way, big one, don't have to add your signature with your business logo and your links to your website, links to your, just make it personal, take off all the corporateness and just make it look like it's coming from someone, from a personal email. Make it easy on yourself, right? The next step here is to then go, all right, now that you've introduced yourself, now that you've asked an open-ended question, if you haven't started a conversation yet, we're going to go through a bit of a warm-up. This is what I call the context phase of the campaign. And the context phase is not about giving someone something necessarily physical, but it's giving them an idea about the value that you could or might add to them, so they have context as to what you do, the value that you have, the problem that you solve, and what's possible. So what we want to do is give like we talk about any IP that you use that helps your clients in the perfect future customer group that's dormant, doing nothing, what could you do? Like, what could you do with that IP? Could you just give it away? Could you offer it to someone? So you don't give it away in the email. You ask if someone is interested in it. So I might say, hey, Joel, one of the things we're using with expert business owners like you is an email advantage framework, which is showing experts how to generate anywhere between 15 to 20 warm leads every week on autopilot using a 6 email nurture sequence. It's getting great results for our clients. I thought it might be useful to you. Would you like a copy of it? Let me know. Send. Like, I haven't gone into how good it is, how awesome it is, why it's valuable. I haven't oversold it. I've just mentioned a little bit about what it is, why it's important, how it could help, and then if they want a copy of it. Simple, right? And then you might do, once we've done that, so give value by offering implementable and high value actionable content, tools, or frameworks. The next one is perfect to give as a case study. So what I use is a case study, and a case study might be something that you can show, like a before and after. It might be something that a stat, like, yeah, before and after is great, or a behind the scenes stat. And the goal of that is to show authority by referencing implementable and high value actionable content, tools, or frameworks. So it's slightly different. One is, I've got this thing, it does this, would you like it? The next one is, by the way, I've been working with clients using a framework. It's got them this result. Before they were here, now they're here. Given that you're in the same industry, I thought it might be useful for you too. Would you like a copy? The goal is to start conversations and add value, right? And this is something that can roll out over and over and over again. Then finally, what we want to do 3 days later here is we want to get a yes or a no question. We want them to say yes or no. And this is what I call, if this one here is a soft ask, this one here is a hard ask. It's a direct ask. So it's generating a warm interest with a short personal email. Pretty simple. It looks like this. Hi, wondering if you'd like, hi Bob, would you like help with your email marketing strategy? Question mark. Hi Joe, wondering, are you looking to sell your house in the next 3 months? Question mark. Hi Bob, would you like help with your team culture plan? Question mark. Hi, insert a direct ask question, yes or no. We want them to say if they're yes or if they're no. If they're yes, we move them to a calendar. If they're no, well, it's all good. You got to know. No big deal. Keep going. Right. Finally, we want to do the final thing is a booster. And a booster is what we call, at the end, most people might not respond, but a very short booster email, what we call float the previous email to the top of the inbox, it promotes a direct response around a yes or no. Some people might say, hey, bugger off. And that's cool. No worries. But it looks like this. It might be like, hey, Joel, following up on my previous email, did you get it? Question mark. And then you might just copy and paste it below so they can see it. But super short, super sweet, super direct and to the point, gets people to say, oh, sorry, I didn't respond. But if we've done these 6 things, you can see the chances, like, literally goes for 16 days. Any new connection that comes through or any new contact that comes through can go into what we call this email advantage sequence that's going to build a relationship, introduce yourself, and along the way, it's going to start to probe for interest to start a conversation. That's the goal of a really good email nurture campaign. It's not to have someone say, hey, here's my credit card. Look, I read one email and I'm sold. It's to get someone to go from I don't know you to I know you and I'm curious / interested in what you could do for me. That's what any great marketing strategy is going to do. And then it's a sales function to nurture that lead into a client. But for now, this is what we're going through. And what I'd like to offer you again is, if you haven't already, click this link, jump into our challenge. I mean, there's only so much information that you need before you realize I've just got to do something with the information I have. And maybe you've got a business that's stalled. Maybe you're starting a new business. Maybe you're just interested in taking the business you've got to the next level. And you just think maybe with a bit of accountability, a bit of support, a bit of challenge, I reckon I could do something pretty powerful. We've got so many great case studies from our challenge. We're getting leads. We're getting clients and sales in days. I'd love to work with you live if you're interested. So make sure you click this link here. It'll look a little something like this. What I want to ask is, if this has been valuable to you, comment below. If you have any questions, comment below. And if you'd like a copy of the workbook, just comment below and we'll give you everything you need. Guys, the goal here is to give you one piece of the puzzle to help you grow your expert coaching and consulting business. And I hope you've taken one thing from this training that's been valuable that you can use to help you gain an advantage over your competition, because I'd love to see you win. All right, that's it from me. Bye for now.